It's April the 5th. The quarantine continues. And this is your Monday Microdose. Welcome back, friends. I hope you're all doing well. I am in desperate need of a haircut. That's one thing I didn't take into consideration with all of this. I'll tell you, my waistline and my liver are taking a beating as well. I've got a lot on my plate today. I actually made myself a few notes so that I don't forget anything. We'll see if I can decipher said notes as we go through this. First things, our friends at Tinker Coffee are still up and running. We're spending a lot more time at home, which means we're probably drinking more coffee at home. So the roastery is ready and raring to go. Monday through Friday, you can walk up, buy a bag of coffee, a bag of beans. You can also go to tinkercoffee.com and place your orders. They'll place said orders outside the door. There are many options. They'll deliver. So we're all trying to support local businesses, and buying good coffee from our friends at Tinker Coffee is a great place to start. tinkercoffee.com. Sad news last week. Adam Schlesinger from Fountains of Wayne, one of the co-founders of Fountains of Wayne, succumbed to COVID-19, or as I heard one doctor refer to it as SARS-2. Fountains of Wayne has been a big part of my life. It loomed large in every mixtape back when we made mixtapes. When I was trying to woo members of the opposite sex, let's be honest, it was one girl, but Fountains of Wayne played a big part in all of that. And at 52, you know, that hits a little close to home. So the hits just keep on coming. I'm going to try to focus on some more positive things with regards to all this, if I can. I had hesitated even talking about it because we're just inundated with this stuff 24/7. But I had a couple of thoughts that I thought might be worth pursuing. I started writing a blog post early March, before we were all locked down. And as with a lot of the things that I write, sometimes they just, you know, they come out in one big bleh, and, you know, you tweak a little here and a little there and it's done. And others, you know, I set aside and then I have to come back to it. I don't think I'm alone with regards to this. But I had started writing this post about the power that you can find in solitude, and more specifically silence, and how in this modern age when we have, you know, input all the time, you know, silence can be a powerful thing, and it's, you know, it can be a commodity. And then all this happened, and that post seemed weirdly prophetic. And I talked about how I have never been much for group rides. I spent a lot of my time riding by myself or riding with one other person. And I tended to shy away from group rides. And it seems like, the people that are riding now, especially the bikes that I'm promoting and selling, they thrive on group rides. And I started trying to figure out why that was. And I think I figured it out. For me, coming up, starting riding, working in bike shops in the late 80s, every group ride, for the most part, was a race. The old adage is when did they have the first, car race? Right after they made the second car. So all of those rides were, competitive. And I was always behind the power curve. I was never the alpha in those groups. So, there were a lot of rides where I took an absolute beating. So when I had the opportunity to ride by myself, I took it. And I think the rides that I'm seeing happen now are definitely more social. So maybe I need to change my thinking and try to get over past trauma when it comes to group rides. And, someday, hopefully in the not too distant future, we can get back to that. We're certainly, there's solitude in abundance right now. And I think that when we do get back to being able to interact with friends and have group rides, we will appreciate them all the more. There was also, and I didn't read the story, as is often the case. You read the headline about how Generation X, of which I am a member, seems to be handling all of this better, handling it as a group, handling it better than other groups. And I have made the observation in the past that we may have been the last generation to truly have freedom, right? There were no cell phones. We left the house in the morning, and, if we had a parent at home, they didn't know where we were. As long as we were home for dinner, all was thought to be okay. We spent a lot of time on our own. Most of the kids that I knew growing up were latchkey kids. We kind of had to fend for ourselves in a lot of ways. And so this is kind of normal. Maybe that's the reason. It's got to be part of the reason. But it's interesting nonetheless. I think there are going to be some shakeouts, certainly in the retail landscape. On the one hand, you see headlines about how bike shops are thriving. But on the other hand, my largest distributor a couple of days ago laid off 12% of its employees. So, that's a mixed message. I think certainly people are taking the opportunity and getting outside a little more. I had some customers, a couple in the shop the other day that said the parks are just absolutely packed. People are cooped up and they want to get outside, and certainly some of them are riding bikes, and I think that's great. It's a weird time. It is absolutely a weird time. I'm going over my notes. I think the good things that hopefully will come out of this is we're communicating with friends and family more. I think a couple of days ago, I had 5 or 6 friends and or family members, send texts or, Facebook messages just saying, how you doing? What's going on? And that's one of the things that sometimes gets lost, right? I made a comment the other day about how when this is all over, I'm wondering if people are going to realize that they weren't really as busy as they always said they were. Or if they're going to redefine what busy means. I hope it's the case. There are many people out there that are saying that even when we get back to, finger quotes, normal, it's not going to be normal. It's not going to be the same. And, when I go to the grocery store, obviously with the exception of these people that are hoarding toilet paper for a reason that I still can't come up with, people seem to be, they'll look at you in the eye, they'll smile, you get more good mornings than you're used to. Whether that's, people are trying to take your measure and see if you're going to cough on them, I don't know. I would hope not. But I think in one way, all of this may end up bringing us closer together, and hopefully that memory will remain. I hope. I hope you all are doing well. As I said, this too shall pass. And until that time, be nice. Work hard. Ride bikes. Play music if you can. And I'll talk to you soon.